Welcome to the deep dive. You've handed us a pretty dense stack today. We've got warnings, advisories, a lot of highly detailed meteorological forecasts. And our mission, well, it's pretty critical. We need to distill all of that into an action plan for Ripley, Ohio, and Brown County for what, the next 72 hours?
That's right. Saturday, December 13th through Monday the 15th. And this one is it's a really high stakes situation.
High stakes, because the title of this deep dive is Snow Lovers Rejoice, which sounds fun, but the reality is a bit more serious.
It really is. We're looking at two very distinct, very severe weather events hitting back to back. I mean, with almost no break in between.
Okay.
First, you get the snow. That's the snow lovers rejoice part arriving this afternoon. But right on its heels, I mean, immediately, is what the sources are calling a historic Arctic blast.
So today, Saturday, is the real pivot point.
It's the pivot. This is where everything flips from that measurable snow to, frankly, dangerously cold conditions.
Okay, let's unpack this. If we're talking about a 1-2 punch, what does Ripley need to know about that first punch? The snow. We had that previous round of snow that was, a bit of a letdown for some people. Why is this one different?
That's an excellent point. The last system, its track just wasn't great for the Ohio Valley. This low-pressure system, though, is tracking perfectly to pull in the cold air and maximize the moisture right across the tri-state.
So this one delivers.
This one absolutely delivers. For Ripley and most of Brown County, the key alert is the winter storm warning. It's already in effect as of 1 p.m. today, and it runs all the way until 7 a.m. Sunday morning.
And that's our window for all the accumulating snow. So let's dial in on the timing, because it really looks like a classic evening travel nightmare.
It is. The snow will really start to increase after 4 p.m. in the Ripley area, and then it intensifies pretty rapidly into the early evening.
So the heaviest stuff is tonight.
The bulk of the heavy snow, yeah, it's this afternoon and evening. It should be tapering off before, say, 11 p.m. tonight.
And what's the payoff? The sources say this will make up for what was missed.
I think that's right. The general tri-state area is looking at 3 to 5+ inches. For Ripley specifically, it's more like 2 phases.
Okay.
Maybe 1 to 2 inches during the day, and then another 1 to 3 inches tonight as the system really peaks. So you've got a total potential there of 2 to 5 inches.
But there's a bit of a gradient, right? It's not the same everywhere.
Exactly. Ripley and the far southern areas are on that lower end. The higher totals, the 4 or 5+ inches, that's going to be for locations further north and northeast.
Now, the sources mentioned the snow will be much drier, more powdery, because that Arctic air is already starting to move in.
Right.
It mentions the snow-to-liquid ratio, the SLR.
Right.
So for those of us who aren't meteorologists, what does it mean when it goes from 15 to 1 up to 20 to 1? Is that good or bad?
Well, it's fantastic for shoveling. That's why we're calling this Snow Lovers Rejoice.
Okay.
I mean, a typical snowfall is maybe 10 to 1. When you get to 20 to 1, that's 20 inches of this really fluffy snow melting down to just 1 inch of water. It's incredibly light.
There's always a but.
There is. That light powdery quality is exactly what makes the travel situation so dangerous.
How so?
Because the winds, the gusty winds that are coming with that Arctic front, they can just pick that snow right up. That leads to significant blowing and drifting.
So whiteout conditions.
Whiteout conditions are definitely possible this evening, even if it's not snowing that hard at a particular moment. The sources are really clear on this. It's a high GH impact travel event.
And it doesn't just end when the snow stops.
No, absolutely not. The slick driving conditions start this afternoon, and they will persist long after the last snowflake falls because of the extreme cold that locks everything in place.
And that, right there, that's the pivot into the really critical part of this forecast. The snow is an issue, a risk, but this rapid deep freeze, that's what makes it potentially life-threatening.
Exactly. We flip almost instantly from the winter storm warning into the true danger zone.
So let's talk about that hard pivot. The extreme cold isn't just for a few hours. There's a cold weather advisory in effect for a really long time.
It is. It starts tonight at 7 p.m. and runs all the way through 11 a.m. on Monday morning.
Wow. So what's the biggest threat with this Arctic blast?
The wind chill. Without a doubt. This air is coming straight down from the Arctic Circle, and temperatures are just going to plummet. But for Ripley, the bigger hazard is what it feels like.
How far below zero are we talking?
For Ripley in that whole area, wind chills could drop to -10 to -20 degrees at times, especially by Sunday morning.
-20.
That's what the forecast says. The severity, you just can't overstate it. When we talk about wind chills like that, -15, -20, that's not just uncomfortable.
Right.
The advisory specifically warns it can lead to bodily harm. Frostbite can set in on exposed skin in like Less than 30
That
minutes.
really changes the stakes. A simple flat tire on a rural road could become deadly.
It absolutely could. That's why the sources emphasize proactive communication. This isn't just weather, it's a public safety issue.
And it's the combination, isn't it? The snow followed immediately by the freeze. There's no time for anything to melt.
None. The sun doesn't get a chance, the pavement stays slick, and the dangerous pole just locks it all down solid. It creates a really serious risk for anyone who might get stranded.
Okay, let's look at the historical context here. The sources mention we're looking at potentially record-setting cold. What's the actual high temperature for Sunday?
It's punishing. Ripley's high might reach 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Cincinnati is only looking at a high of 12.
So even in the middle of the day, with the sun out.
Even then, the wind chill for Ripley is going to stay as low as -8. It probably won't get much above 0 for the whole region. The sources are calling it the coldest start to this part of December in 15 years.
And if the high is only 15, Sunday night into Monday morning must be the absolute bottom.
That's the core of it, yes. That's when the Arctic high is settled right on top of us.
Yeah.
Ripley's low is forecast to be around 1 degree Fahrenheit.
1 degree.
And across the whole region, you'll see actual air temperatures anywhere from -5 to 5 above 0.
It's just brutal. Okay, before we get to the thaw, and I really want to get to the thaw, let's cover some other details. Road travel is obviously a mess. What about air travel?
Yeah, the sources mentioned that too. It's not just local roads. The aviation forecasts show a rapid breakdown in flying conditions today. They specifically mention going from IFR,
Instrument flight rules.
right, to LIFR, which is low instrument flight rules.
And in plain English, what does that mean for anyone listening?
It basically means near zero visibility. It's aviation shorthand for the whole regional transport system grinding to a halt. Planes grounded, massive delays. It just underscores how widespread this is.
And we're fighting against the clock, too, with limited daylight.
We are. Sunrise is around 7:48 a.m., sunset at 5:15 p.m. The heaviest snow falls almost entirely in darkness.
Right, when people are driving home.
Exactly. And then the most dangerous wind chills Sunday morning will also be happening during those limited daylight hours, which makes any kind of emergency or outdoor exposure that much riskier.
Okay, that's the pain. Let's talk about the relief. The cold doesn't last forever, and the warm-up sounds almost as dramatic as the cold snap.
It's a profound shift. The cold weather advisory ends at 11 a.m. Monday, and the rebound is, well, it's fast and it's big.
Give us the timeline. How quickly do we thaw out?
Monday is the transition. Ripley's high struggles to hit 27, but by Tuesday, we're already back near 37 degrees.
Yeah.
Wednesday jumps again, high near 46, with a chance of rain coming in late that night. And then
We really see the spike.
we do. The sources point to Thursday, potentially, seeing highs near 55 degrees in Ripley.
Wait, 55, after a low of 1 degree on Monday morning and wind chills of -20.
Yeah. We go from, is my car going to start, to, do I need a light jacket, in about 72 hours. It's just a huge, chaotic temperature swing.
It really is. So what does this all mean? If you're listening, the takeaway here seems to be about dual preparation.
It has to be.
You have to prepare for the heavy snow today under that winter storm warning, and then you have to immediately pivot and prepare for the life-threatening cold from tonight all the way through Monday morning.
That's the perfect summary. The snow is the immediate challenge. It ends early Sunday. But the cold is the prolonged, significant threat. The wind chills are the real story here.
And thinking about that historical context again, the record low for this date was -1, set way back in 1962. We're challenging records that have stood for decades.
We are, and it brings up a really important question that, kind of builds on what we've seen in the sources.
Go on.
Given these lows, these severe wind chills, and then this whiplash-inducing swing from -15 wind chills to highs in the 50s in just 4 days, what kind of systemic risks does that pose to our local infrastructure?
Things like roads, power grids.
Exactly. Roads, power grids, even plumbing. Things that were all designed and built for older, maybe more stable climate norms. How do they handle this kind of rapid, severe change?
That is something to mull over as you secure your home, find your warmest gear, and prepare for this Arctic blast. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.